want to get into that mode where I start tripping on fools, because I go hard, and I don't want to get there. You know, everybody else like, Warren, you so nice, you so cool. But I get off in a motherfucker ass. I just don't choose to go that route. And I don't like to argue with motherfuckers and you know, do all that extra shit. I'm just like, I'm gonna let this dude speak for me. Motherfuckers know though. I mean, they know I ain't gonna sit up there and play no motherfucking games. I'm cool, but and I should have been more active, vocal and active. But it's just like, you know, I've seen so many people do foul shit to a lot of people, a lot of guys. Like, you know, I done seen motherfuckers talk shit about Dre, motherfuckers talk shit about Snoop, and then their ass is right up under. You know, I ain't that type of motherfucker. I ain't gonna talk about these motherfuckers and then get in their face. If I got something to say to them, I'll say it to them. And yeah, I did talk about the Super Bowl shit. I was pissed off. You know, it just wasn't cool. And you know, and it wasn't like something that I just brought up and did this and did that. It was a whole story to it that led up to that. And it was a witness there. One of my guys, he with our crew, he sat right next to me, and he was even tripping, and he got down there and went back there, and I'm still in the fucking crowd. Wow. But I just wanted to go back there and hang out, me and my son. That was it.
But now that you hear the story, you understand how it is, and the fact that y'all were so close, and you understand why. Because I don't think a lot of people necessarily knew. Did you speak to Dre or Snoop? Of course you spoke to Snoop. Did you speak to Dre after that?
I ain't talked to him. I done reached out to talk to him a few times, you know, but he always will be busy, you know, but I ain't got nothing against him.
And you see, I don't know, that was right there.
I didn't even sing. You know, I was focused on doing what I had to do. But
y'all don't have the best relationship, huh?
I don't even know what kind of relationship we have. I ain't seen him in a while. We ain't talked in a while. Or hung out. You know, I ain't got nothing against him, but I don't know if there's a problem or not. I don't know.
Was there something
I ain't never done that.
Was there something that got y'all to this point?
I have no idea. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You know, I don't know if somebody may have told him some shit or said some shit. Because a lot of motherfuckers will do that just to get up under a person. You know, they'll say, well, he did it or something. I don't know. But, and I ain't tripping either at the same time, you know. I ain't got nothing against him, you know, but that shit just was kind of weird, you know, when I look up to you and, you know, that's my guy still. You know, like I said, that's my sensei. And we could sit down and talk whenever, face to face, you know, and put it all out there. And if it's something that I did and I was wrong, hey, it is what it is. Okay, I was wrong. If you don't want to fuck with me no more, that's fine. Cool. But being in the blind and not knowing what's going on, I don't know. You know, but because that's what it seemed like. It to me, it seemed like it may be a problem, but you know, it just felt like a problem. You know, I'm my homeboy. You know, I love that nigga to death. That's my dog. He said, I don't bring shit to work with me. That's totally different. I don't think he was talking about me. I don't think he was talking about me as far as me being shit coming with him to go to the studio or wherever to work. Because that's all we ever did was get out and go to the studio together. You know, go up there. We have fun. That's it. You know, but no. You know, so you know, just clearing that. You know, Snoop is my homeboy. I have no problems with Dre. This my best friend. You two guys, y'all hang out. This my best friend.
This your brother.
And this is my brother. It just be weird, and and when I say weird, as far as it's like we don't go out to eat together no more. We don't do family shit where we get the kids out and do shit like that, go jet skiing or go skiing, or it ain't about like some music shit or this, that, and this. Just a hangout like we used to. I don't know nobody else. You are the motherfuckers I grew with in this industry. That's it. It ain't it. That's it. Just hanging out. Let's, like being a crew again, a family again. I'm just, that's it.
Warren, it's okay to say I miss you, my brother.
I was 18 because I was out of high school. I was 18 years old, met Dog, and it was 19 when I got back with Snoop, and he took me to Sugar Dr. Dre. I think I was 19 years old. Yep, and they was about to release Deep Cover, so I was there right when it I'll be honest, when my homeboy Tupac got killed, shit was boring. It's not the same feel.
Yeah.
What records we gonna make, man? I want to make records right now. I want to go see my family. I want to chill. My big homie's gone. Tupac's gone. I don't want to be around none of this shit. Because the only thing to do right now is to smash.
Yeah.
The only thing left to do now is to gangbang. And that's out of the question. I said, this is it. It's time to go.
I mean, you want to talk about Dog? Let's talk about him buying Death Row.
I mean, hello. Isn't that ironic?
How did you hear when you heard that announcement?
Oh. Who hit me about that? Somebody hit me about it. I was like, sis? He did what? Like, no way. It feels like it's impossible to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit is death row, for Christ's sake. And that's the birthplace for us. And it shows you how good God is. Well, God ain't good, chicken's good. It shows you how great God is. Because Dog stuck to his guns instead of being angry at what he didn't get, what he doesn't have, and none of that. Stuck to his guns. Didn't listen to what nobody had to say. Kept on trucking. Got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where he can purchase the company that invented Dog. Right. Now that's growth.
Right. I think none of the Death Row catalog is on Spotify. How do you feel about that?
Damn right, Dog took all that shit down.
What?
Get out of here. Well, he's restructuring the company,
Okay.
His first step is let's get all this shit down and let's put it up the right way where people can get paid correctly, you know what I'm saying? So let's just shut it down. Let's revamp this. Let's start with some new music. We're gonna revamp everything and then give it to them again the right way where people can get paid. Let's get the business straight with all the Death Row members that's a part of these things. Let's get the business straight with them so they can get paid, and then let's throw it back out there. And I agree.
Me and Snoop, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We've been feuding for about 12, 15 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we back. We cousins, our family.
We family.
We break TVs,
that's the whole
drum
thing.
machines, shit like that, turntables.
Yeah,
and
Dog
shot
shot his equipment
He
up.
shot my equipment up one time.
Wait, literally?
Yeah, we got into an argument, you know what I'm saying?
I wasn't ready.
Terrible argument.
Put him in a headlock. He went in there and shot my drum machine. I went in there, bust the TV.
I think that's when we made Ain't No Fun.
That's when we made fun like that.
Yeah.
Ain't no fun.
And the Dog said, oh, what? Boom, 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 boom. Now what, nigga? And Daz was like, ah!
That's the old TV, the big one that you just bought.
We family, we butt heads all the time.
Yes, we back up on the bullshit. I try to have a great birthday and leave it at that. But then this happened. Lassus Malone, what's up, my nigga? You know you was wrong for that. Playing size, suck it. He throwing that dog. You know what I mean? Saying this, but he had a lot to say. You know what I mean? Y'all go out there and purchase that Chronic album. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Daz Dillinger. Now let's address some things. You said that I was suing a dead man. I'm not suing a dead man. I'm suing them white folks, foster parents, because we be stealing that you're in cahoots with. Me and Snoop Dogg was in the same paperwork. How did you jump out of the paperwork and leave me in the paperwork, and now you want me to abide by the old paperwork that you got claim of now? You know what I mean? That's like we all in jail and we look around and Snoop out of jail. He told. You know what I mean? He working with the slave master. Everybody over there at Death Row was broke. The only they got some money. All them artists over there is not happy. You know what I'm saying? They ain't selling shit. Jane Gum, she ain't selling shit. You know what I mean? Other artists, they ain't selling shit. It was 2024, 2025. Y'all still on the same album. Dave Hollister, pedophile. Eric Sermon already talked. So, hey, I'm just saying, Daz Dillinger, glasses. I'm waiting for you to say what you gotta say. My homeboy. You know what I mean? Came to my house. Came downstairs, but you couldn't go back upstairs. You know? So, how many songs you got with Snoop Dogg? How many songs you got with me? How many songs do Snoop Dogg got with Tupac? All them songs was produced by Daz Dillinger. You didn't even like Tupac, Snoop. You didn't even want me to play all his music in the house. You didn't like Tupac. Stop fronting. Now you're doing business with Tom Wiley. Y'all so buddy. You know what I'm saying? When y'all stealing, like I said before, it's so much shit going on at Death Row. And he talking about he don't go in the 90s. Everything you perform from the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like I said before, it's business. Handle your business, I'm gonna handle my business. I'm going to open the books up on your ass. Like I'm finna open the books up, I'm finna open their ass wide open. I'm gonna bust your ass wide open when I go through them books. Cause how is y'all making splits? How's y'all chopping up the money? How's Fuzzy got a job and he over there being the connector? He ain't connecting shit. Like I said before, shout out to Kurupt. You already know, DA to the Z. Y'all pick that Chronic album up. Bye. What's up, y'all? What it do? Hey. That Chronic album for y'all. Classic. You know what I mean? Collector's item. Daz Dillinger. You know what I'm saying? Chronic album. 2 Live Crew. BDP. Ice Cube. EPMD. Ice Cube. Easy E. Dub C. Public Enemy. Too Short. KRS-One. See, when you have your own shit like this, it's what you do. Business. You hear me? Now, I just got off of that thing about Glasses Malone. I just got off the phone with Glasses. You know what I'm saying? So, he said he's supposed to be getting on this podcast at 12 o'clock. You know what I mean? Because I told him, man, that wasn't... You was sucking... You was talking to Snoop to try to get some likes. See, no. Yeah, you was.
Something is cracking inside one of the most legendary families in West Coast hip-hop. And this time, it is not just old drama getting dragged back up. Warren G is speaking on how distant things have become with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Kurupt is trying to explain what is happening behind the scenes at Death Row, and Daz Dillinger is making serious claims about masters, money, and paperwork. What makes this hit harder is the history. Warren G is the man who helped connect Snoop Dogg with Dr. Dre in the first place. That link helped shape an entire era. But now Warren says he barely knows where he stands with either of them. He is not yelling, throwing wild accusations, or chasing attention. He sounds more disappointed than anything, and that may be the coldest part of the whole story. At the same time, Daz is accusing Snoop of moving differently since taking control of Death Row Records. According to Daz, the business does not add up, the splits need to be explained, and the books need to be opened. Kurupt, meanwhile, says Snoop pulled the catalog down to restructure everything and make sure people get paid correctly. So now there are 3 different sides to the same story, and every one of them comes from somebody who helped build this legacy from the ground up. To understand why Warren G sounds so hurt, you have to go back to the beginning. Before the Super Bowl stages, billion-dollar brands, and death row becoming hip-hop history, Warren was right there helping connect the pieces. He brought Snoop Dogg around Dr. Dre, and that introduction helped create one of the most powerful partnerships rap had ever seen. Warren was not some random artist standing on the outside looking in. Dre was family, Snoop was his close friend, and making music together was part of their everyday life. They were not only studio partners either. They moved like a real crew, spending time together, raising their families around each other, and building a sound that changed the entire West Coast. That is why this situation feels deeper than regular industry business. Warren says the bond slowly changed, but nobody ever sat him down and explained what happened. The dinners stopped. The family trips stopped. The casual hangouts disappeared, and suddenly, the people he came up with started feeling more like distant industry connections. Warren made it clear that he still has love for both men, but he also admitted he does not even know what kind of relationship they have anymore. That silence seems to be what bothers him most. He is not asking for a handout or trying to force his way into anybody's circle. He just wants to know why the family stopped moving like a family. That confusion became impossible for Warren G to ignore during the Super Bowl halftime show. Dr. Dre stood on one of the biggest stages in the world alongside Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent, while Warren was left sitting in the crowd wondering why he could not even get backstage. Warren explained that he was not asking to perform or steal anybody's spotlight. He simply wanted to bring his son backstage, show support, and spend time with the people he had known for decades. As Warren put it, I just wanted to go back there and hang out, me and my son, that was it. What made the moment feel even stranger was that someone from Warren's own crew reportedly made it backstage while Warren remained outside. According to him, the person sitting beside him could not believe what was happening either. For an artist who played such an important role in connecting Dre and Snoop, being treated like an outsider had to feel like a serious slap in the face. Warren later admitted that he was angry about the situation, but he did not immediately go online and start attacking everybody. He said there was a much longer story behind his frustration. Still, when someone who helped build the foundation cannot even get through the backstage door, people naturally start asking whether this was simply poor communication or a clear message that Warren was no longer considered part of the inner circle. After the Super Bowl situation, Warren G tried to understand whether there was a real problem behind the scenes. He said he reached out to Dr. Dre more than once, but every attempt seemed to hit the same wall. Dre was busy, unavailable, or the conversation simply never happened. That left Warren stuck in an awkward position. He was not openly beefing with Dre, and he insisted he had never done anything to disrespect him. But when somebody who once felt like family suddenly stops calling, stops hanging out, and barely responds, the silence starts saying plenty on its own. Warren admitted, "I don't even know what kind of relationship we have." That was not anger talking. It sounded like a man trying to understand how decades of loyalty could turn into distance without one honest conversation. He even said that if he had done something wrong, he was willing to sit down, hear it directly, and take responsibility. But Warren also raised another possibility. Maybe somebody got between them and carried stories back to Dr. In the music business, people often whisper behind the scenes just to get closer to somebody powerful. Warren does not know whether that happened, but he believes something clearly changed. And instead of creating a loud public war, Warren is asking for something simple, a face-to-face conversation where both sides can put everything on the table. While Warren G was questioning how the personal bond fell apart, Kurupt looked at the situation from a completely different angle: the business of death row records. To him, Snoop Dogg buying the label was not just another celebrity purchase. It was one of the original stars returning to take control of the place where his career exploded. Kurupt admitted that the news almost sounded impossible at first. Death Row had shaped their lives, but it also carried years of painful history, broken relationships, and unfinished business. After Tupac passed, Kurupt said the energy around the label changed completely. The music did not feel the same, the family atmosphere disappeared, and he no longer wanted to be surrounded by that darkness. That is why Kurupt viewed Snoop's purchase as a full-circle victory. Instead of staying angry about what he did not receive during the old Death Row era, Snoop kept building his name, expanding his business, and eventually became powerful enough to purchase the company that once controlled his music. But owning the name is one thing. Fixing decades of messy contracts, publishing disputes, and unpaid royalties is another. Kurupt suggested that Snoop was trying to rebuild Death Row the right way, but Daz Dillinger clearly did not believe everything was being handled fairly. And that is where this story shifted from old friendships falling apart to serious questions about who controls the music and who is actually getting paid. Kurupt's explanation was simple. Before Death Row's catalog could move forward, the business had to be cleaned up. When Snoop took control, several classic records disappeared from major streaming platforms, and fans immediately started asking why some of the label's biggest music had been pulled down. According to Kurupt, that move was not about burying the past or keeping artists from earning money. He said Snoop was trying to stop everything, review the old deals, and rebuild the system so the people connected to those records could finally be paid the right way. In his view, the catalog had to be taken apart before it could be put back together properly. That sounds reasonable on paper, but Death Row's paperwork has never been simple. Decades of contracts, changing ownership, publishing splits, producer credits, and royalty claims created a maze that could not be fixed overnight. Every classic song may have several people claiming a piece, and one wrong split can turn nostalgia into another legal fight. Kurupt also made it clear that he supports Snoop and believes buying Death Row showed real growth. But his explanation opened another question. If the label was being rebuilt to make everybody whole, why did Daz still feel like he was being left behind? From Daz's point of view, this was not just an old accounting mistake. He believed Snoop escaped the same paperwork that still had him trapped, and that accusation changed the whole temperature. Daz Dillinger was not buying the cleanup explanation at all. From his point of view, Snoop did not simply inherit a complicated catalog. He found a way out of the same paperwork that still had Daz tied down. Daz claimed they were originally connected through the same agreements, but somehow Snoop moved forward while Daz was still being told to follow the old terms. That is where the business dispute became personal. Daz questioned how the masters, publishing rights, and royalty splits were being handled behind the scenes. He helped produce major records, worked closely with some of Death Row's biggest names, and believes his contribution should be reflected in the money and ownership. Daz also rejected the idea that this was about suing someone who had passed away. He said his fight was with the companies and people controlling the paperwork, and he accused Snoop of working with the same system Daz believes kept artists from receiving what they deserved. Those are Daz's claims, but he delivered them like somebody who had been holding this frustration in for years. Then came his strongest warning: I'm going to open the books. Daz said he wanted to see exactly how the money was being divided and who was receiving each percentage. At that point, this was no longer cousins arguing online. It became a direct challenge over the business behind one of hip-hop's most valuable catalogs. Daz did not stop at contracts and royalty splits. He started pulling old Death Row history into the argument. He reminded everybody that he produced major records connected to Snoop and Tupac, then questioned why his role seemed smaller while other people controlled the business. Daz even claimed Snoop was rewriting the past. He said, "You didn't even like Tupac," and argued that many celebrated records were built with Daz behind the boards. That was a heavy accusation because Snoop's connection to Tupac is a major part of Death Row's legacy. Still, Daz did not publicly show proof for every claim. He also attacked the current state of the label, saying some artists were not moving units and that the new Death Row could not survive on its famous name alone. To Daz, owning the logo did not mean owning the whole story, especially while producers and artists were still questioning their money. Then Daz made it clear he was ready to dig deeper. He promised to examine the splits, paperwork, and every percentage connected to the music. That warning carried weight because Daz was not an outsider chasing gossip. He helped create the sound people are still playing today. So while Kurupt viewed Snoop's ownership as growth, Daz saw something completely different. In his eyes, a powerful cousin had taken control of the legacy without fully settling the people who helped build it. Now, the bigger picture is impossible to ignore. Warren G feels pushed away from the people he helped connect. Kurupt believes Snoop is trying to rebuild Death Row the right way, and Daz says the business still does not add up. Three men from the same circle are looking at the same situation from completely different angles. Warren is focused on loyalty and family. Kurupt is focused on growth and giving Snoop credit for buying the label. Daz is focused on ownership, payments, and whether the people behind the music are receiving their fair share. That is what makes this more than regular internet drama. These artists helped create a sound that still carries weight decades later. But now the legacy is tied up in silence, damaged relationships, and serious questions about the paperwork. Daz's accusations have not been proven, but his warning about opening the books could force this entire situation into a much bigger spotlight. And Warren G's words may be the most revealing part of all. He did not sound like somebody looking for war. He sounded like somebody who misses the brotherhood and wants to know why everything changed. Do you think Snoop is cleaning up Death Row, or did Daz get pushed out of business he helped build? Drop your take below, hit the like button, subscribe to Dripzine, and send this video a hype because this West Coast story is far from settled.